Alright, mates, we're going to be drinking some British brew tonight on the beer show. Alright, welcome to this episode of the beer show. Tonight, we're going to be drinking a traditional English beer. Tonight, we're drinking Samuel Smith's Oatmeal Stout. See? Oatmeal Stout. Tadcaster Oatmeal Stout. See? Samuel Smith's Oatmeal Stout. That's what we're drinking tonight. It is a product of England. The place where they know how to drink warm beer. Look at this. Isn't this neat? Look at this. They give the beer to us with this fancy little wrapping on top of it. Yeah, fancy little wrapping on top of it. I mean, who the hell does that? The French? Alright, so that's what we're drinking tonight. Sam Smith's Oatmeal Stout. As you can see, I paid $3.49 for this. We are such a high budget show. So, that's what we're drinking tonight. So, like always, we've got to get everything ready for our show tonight, don't we? So, first things first, your handy-dandy bottle opener. See? Your handy-dandy bottle opener right there. So, I got this. Now, as you can tell, we have our bottle. But what are we missing? That's right. It's our big old mug. Big old mug. Say it with me now. Get your big old mug right there. The big old mug. I think this big old beer is going to fill my big old mug. We'll find out. That's what we're drinking tonight here on the beer show. So we got to do what's first. Get everything right? That's right. Get first things first. Let's get this thing open. Alright. Getting this thing open. I didn't know it was going to take me. You know, then maybe this is why we decided to break off from the British. Come on. No American brew worth their mind does this kind of thing. Who in the hell wraps their beer? Not just that, in fucking gold. Seriously? You know, this is complex of an operation than I thought it was going to be. Yep. Yeah, this is more complex an operation than I would have assumed it to be. Well, I think I got enough before. Let's see here. And let's open her up. There. Beer cap is off. Bottle cap off. Alright. Now, this Oatmeal Stout is going to have a very thick head on it. I don't think there's any way around it. But we're going to pour this thing and we're going to find out what we got on the inside. Okay? Now it's pretty. Now look at how dark that is. This is going to be a good beer tonight. Dark beers have a, have a love. Look how cloudy that is. I don't know if you can see how cloudy this thing is pouring or not. Look at the head on this. This is going to fill my big old mug up. Look at this. Big old mug is dead on full. Look at that. Full. You can't get that much fuller than that. So, there you go. This is a 1 pint bottle, 550 milliliters. This 1 pint, 2.7 ounces. So it's just over a pint of beer. You can smell it. Just smelling it smells like bread. It smells like fresh bread. Let's take a whiff of this stuff. It smells like fresh bread. Got some on my nose there, don't I? Let's take a drink of this. Okay, so let me tell you about this beer. So Samuel Smith's Old Brewery, popularly known as Sam Smith's or Samuel Smith's. It's an independent brewery in Tadcaster, Yorkshire, England. It is Yorkshire's oldest brewery, and it was founded in 1758. Now, Samuel Smith was not the guy who opened it, and that was in 1847. Samuel Smith, he was a butcher and a cattle dealer from Meanwood in Leeds, in England. He funded his son John to buy a struggling brewery business in Tadcaster from the Hartley family. That brewery, founded in 1758, is the oldest in Yorkshire. The old brewery at Tadcaster, it was founded in 1758, and it bears the name of a famous local brewer, Sam Smith. It is the oldest brewery in Yorkshire, and it's the only surviving independent brewery in Tadcaster. The smallest of the three modern-day Tadcaster breweries, Sam Smith's is one of the few remaining British breweries to employ the traditional Yorkshire square system in the production of its beers. It's big, square, open cask, I guess is the best way to describe it. The brewing water for their ales and stouts is still drawn from the original 85-foot well, and it was sunk when the site was established in 1758. So the water that this beer comes out from is older than the United States. So that's cool, right? So the water in this the well is older than, than our country. Um, so the yeast that they use in the fermentation process is a very old strain. It's a strain that has been continuously used since approximately 1900. And it's one of the oldest unchanged strains in England. And it's one of the oldest unchanged strains you're going to find in just about any process. In keeping with their rich sense of history and their rich sense of tradition, the brewery keeps a small team of dapple gray Shire horses. Budweiser has their Clydesdales. Well, they have their Shire horses. But unlike Budweiser's Clydesdales, which are basically show horses, these are not. Their horses are among the last active dray horses in the world. They deliver beer around the town of Tadcaster. At one time, what we're drinking tonight is the Oatmeal Stout. Now, at one time, this drink was promoted and advertised to lactating mothers. Oatmeal Stout was described as nutritional on early labels. Oats, oats, when you make beer, you got water, barley, hops. You're going to use a grain. So oat is a grain. So you're going to use a grain in your production process. And oats are what they use for this, thus it being called an oatmeal stout. And the small addition of the oats, it adds a great flavor and it adds a smooth body. This was popular in the late 1800s. The last oatmeal stout brewed before the First World War. They quit brewing this for generations. They didn't brew this. After World War I, there was no more oatmeal stout coming out of Sam Smith. And they didn't reintroduce this style of drink until 1980. The brew has a 5% alcohol content, so it's got a decent amount of alcohol for a beer. It's dark. I mean, look at it. This is dark. I can't think of many other beers that are as dark as this. I mean, your Guinnesses are as dark as this, but Newcastle is not this dark. I mean, this is almost as dark as a Coca-Cola, except you can see through a Coke. You cannot see through this. To some extent, you can see through a Guinness, but you cannot see through this, period. It's not cloudy, but it's definitely dark, very dark. Um, they say it has a very silky texture and it's got a complex, dry, um, you know, velvety texture and a bittersweet finish. So the smell, it smells like a bread, like some kind of bread that you open up and take a smell. You know, when you open the bag up, that's what it kind of smells like. It smells like bread. That smells good. Let's take a drink. So, I think I'm ready to pass a verdict on this beer. So, every week we do the big old mug approved. Now, how am I going to judge on this one this week? This is big old mug approved. But it's not the same kind of approval that I'm going to give that I gave in the last two beers. Because of this dark texture, this is not for everybody. The two lighter beers, the Spaten and the Yingling, are probably more general taste worthy. This beer is approved. It is Big Ol' Mug approved. This is a beer that you want to sit back and drink. However, this is not a beer that, if you're going to casually drink it or you're not prepared for a heavy beer, do not get this. But it has a nice sweetness to it and a good complexity, and I highly recommend this. And come on, you cannot beat a beer that comes in that size of bottle. So this is Big Ol' Mug approved. Let's take another drink. So, before we do anything else, let me tell you guys, we're on Facebook now. You can find us, look us up, The Beer Show on Facebook. You can get us on Twitter, www.twitter.com/thebeershow. So you can find us on both of those. And tell us what we need to be drinking. I've already had some suggestions, and those have already been processed, and we're working on it right now. But be sure to tell me what you want to see us drinking. So, alright, everybody, let's lift up our mugs. And this is not an Irish beer, so no Irish drinking songs. But it is British, so let's do a British pirate. Arrgh! Chug it, matey! Arrgh, arrgh, arrgh! Woo! Definitely don't drink this fast. That is not a fast drinking beer. But it's a good beer. I do recommend it. So that's it for tonight. Be sure to leave us a comment. Tell us what you want to see on the beer show. Again, Samuel Smith's Oatmeal Stout. Highly recommend it. Go pick it up. You'll find it at your better beer suppliers. Just keep an eye out. So that's it. Tell us what you want us to be drinking, and we will see you all next week on The Beer Show. Bye, everybody.